skeptical.
Yes.
Like, I'm not
Every country
skeptical.
does it.
I'm not skeptical. I'm accusing them. I think they stole the election.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think it's common. And this idea that elections can't be stolen. I always say to people, okay, do you think that the amount of election fraud is 0%? No one thinks that.
Yeah.
No one thinks it's zero.
Okay, guys. Joe Rogan just said the quiet part out loud. He believes the 2020 election had some funny business. And tonight, President Trump is going on national television claiming newly declassified intelligence will show that China interfered in America's election system to help Joe Biden. Now, those are massive accusations, but this is bigger than relitigating one election. The real question is whether the American people were denied information they had every right to see. Were voter databases compromised? Were intelligence officials sitting on evidence? And did the people responsible for protecting our elections tell the country the truth? I want to play this entire clip. We got to break this down. This is an interview, Joe Rogan and JD Vance, and they got in the weeds on some stuff here that should scare a lot of people. It scares me that my vote doesn't count. More importantly, it scares me of who is actually counting the votes.
Well, it's just very disheartening that you have to consider the fact that it's really possible that the elections get stolen. And the California one was a big one for me.
And why not just have mail-in, or why not just have voter ID?
Yeah.
So California, this is the whole Spencer Pratt election with Karen Bass. Now, apparently on that ballot, when they were voting for Karen Bass, apparently they were voting for a tax. JD Vance, I think this is the first time he's been on Rogan, brings up a great point. Why not just have voter ID? Give everyone clarity. Let's make sure everyone believes and knows and has some sense of the election is free and fair and the process works. It would remove all doubt.
You actually
that's
saw
insane. Not only did they not have voter ID,
Yeah.
you can't show your ID. You're not allowed to show your ID.
You can, in fact, be prosecuted if you try to force somebody to show their
Which
ID.
seems like you want.
Wait a second. You can be prosecuted for showing ID? Go to a liquor store and say, hey, I'm going to sue you if you try to get me to show ID. They will laugh you out of the liquor store.
People to cheat.
Exactly.
And is this from the same people that were saying you have to have an ID that shows you've been vaccinated just 4 years ago to go to a
grocery
restaurant
shopping or to go to a restaurant? Yeah, no, it's definitely, that's the part about it that I think makes most people of my political persuasion skeptical of what the Democrats.
I am skeptical of anyone. I don't care what political persuasion you are. I'm skeptical of anyone, but Rogan brings up a good idea or a good point. You were told you couldn't go in grocery stores. You couldn't go to restaurants. Once you were sitting down, you could take off the stuff because it didn't travel while you were sitting down. You couldn't go to grocery stores unless you had the passport. You couldn't go to school unless you proved it. A lot of people lost their jobs. Members of the military were kicked out because they didn't have a jab ID. That's basically what it was. It was an ID to show that you had the jab. And now we've come full circle, and full circle just seems stupid.
Most people of my political persuasion skeptical of what the Democrats are doing.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to cheat in the election, then just make everybody actually show an ID. Another thing people don't realize is, I didn't realize until a couple years ago, the voter ID solves a lot of the mail-in ballot problem. Because if you have to show an ID in order to get a mail-in ballot, in order to actually, confirm that there's a real identification attached to that vote, that solves a big chunk of the problem too.
It's just logical.
It's just logical. Let's say you're sick. Show your ID, get a mail-in ballot. Let's say you're out of the country, vacation, business, work, maybe attending a funeral of someone that got that thing. That's all this is. This is just integrity. Trust but verify.
Yes.
Like, I'm not
Every country does it.
I'm not skeptical. I'm accusing them. I think they stole the election.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think it's common. And this idea that elections can't be stolen. I always say to people, okay, do you think that the amount of election fraud is 0%? No one thinks that.
Yeah.
No one thinks it's 0%. If you do, you are delusional. You and I both know there's people that are in national cemeteries that have been voting, and you know what I'm talking about. Family members been gone for years. You got to communicate with them with a Ouija board. Yeah, they're voting blue no matter who. We know this.
Yeah.
No one thinks it's 0.
Exactly.
There's always some overzealous person that works somewhere that's doing something. There's always crazy people that
Correct.
like blue no matter who, we got to win, or red no matter what. There's always people, right and left, that are going to try to rig the election because they think it's imperative. Look, we saw. There was people like Oprah Winfrey was saying it. Like, if we don't win this election, you may never vote again. Like,
Yep.
what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why? Who's going to tolerate that?
That's
Left
right.
or right?
Joe is big enough that they can't cancel him. That's the only reason he can bring up Oprah's name. You and I talk about Oprah, they probably cancel our mortgage.
It's crazy.
That's right.
But that attitude allows people to justify cheating.
Correct.
And I think they cheat. And I think they've been doing it forever. And
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any other reason why you would have no voter ID. And they try to say, oh, it's racist to have voter ID. Like, what are you talking about? Do you think other races are incapable of going to the DMV? That's insane.
That's what it insinuates. Asian people, too smart to get ID. Black people, too dumb to get ID. Illegal alien migrant Mexicans, well, they shouldn't be allowed to have ID. And that's why we want to verify they're not voting. We just want to verify.
Yeah, it's
That's racist.
It's actually super racist.
That's really
Right,
racist.
the implication of their argument is literally like blacks and Hispanics cannot go to the DMV to get an ID. By the way, if you look at the polling, black Americans are as pro-voter ID. Even though most black Americans vote Democrat, they're still pro-voter ID as much as white Americans is.
Most
White
Americans are voter ID.
Because black Americans do not want people that are not here voting for them or voting against something that they might oppose. I don't care what race, gender, color, creed you are. If you are going to vote in the election, my opinion, I want to know that you should be voting in the election. This is not radical.
They
This is a
want
crazy
voter ID
thing.
except
Yeah.
for operatives.
So I'll offer on the Joe Rogan podcast this deal as vice president of these United States that if Democrats really don't think that there's any cheating, give us voter ID.
Yeah.
I just don't know
Give us
how
voter
it's
ID
not.
and we'll stop talking so
Why
much
is that
about
not
elections.
Yeah. If there's no cheating, what's bothering you?
Federal thing.
We are trying to make it a federal thing. So we are right now trying to pass the Save America Act. One of its main provisions is a requirement that you do voter ID. And we actually have, I think, a majority of the Senate that would support it. But this is just weird Senate procedural bullshit. There is a subsegment.
Don't you like hearing the vice president say it's bullshit? That just tells me this guy's real.
Support it, but this is just weird Senate procedural bullshit. There is a subsegment of people who want voter ID, but
they can't get around the filibuster. So this article here, Gateway Pundit, Rogan and Vance discuss crooked LA mayoral race, direct evidence they were recruiting homeless people. What will homeless people do for $1? Anything. And it says here's why it's super sus. Not that Spencer Pratt, who was in second place, got overtaken by Neitha Rahman in the mail-in ballots, but the mail-in ballots also passed a tax hike. Who is voting for a tax hike? Who in California says, I need more taxes, I need more government control? Look at this. They voted to pay more taxes in a state where you have the highest taxes. That's what happened in California, man. They slipped them the Mickey. Not only did they screw you in the drive-thru, but they're taking more of your money in the drive-thru. Gosh, this is crazy, people.
First of all, what happened with the last election in Los Angeles, just the primary, I think was
crazy.
So super sus.
Yes,
and here's why it's super sus. Not just super sus that Spencer Pratt, who was in second place, got overtaken by Nithya Raman in the mail-in ballots, but that the mail-in ballots also passed a tax hike.
Who needs more taxes? We do. Mail-in ballots do.
People voted to pay more taxes.
Yep.
In a state where you have the highest
taxes. That's right.
They're like, we don't pay enough. That is
It's like you don't have enough government in your life, so you move to an HOA.
insane. Then when you have direct evidence that they were recruiting homeless people.
That's right.
And they were getting homeless people and giving them cigarettes and cash. There's evidence of this. To use their address and mail-in ballots.
Yeah, I wouldn't be the Californian Joe who wakes up in the morning and says, you know what, I'm going to go and vote for higher taxes.
I don't pay enough.
Nobody does that. How stupid do they think we are? That's the crazy part, man. Nobody is this dumb to believe it.
Pay enough taxes.
I feel like we could fix this if I just pay
if I just pay 5% more taxes. The crazy thing about it, too, is it's that, okay, so after the initial ballots all came in, it was Karen Bass was number one, Spencer Pratt was right behind her, and then number three, whatever this woman's name is, Nithya Raman. Okay, so you would expect the mail-in ballots to be more or less like the original ballots in terms of 1, 2. No. I'm not saying Spencer Pratt's going to win the mail-in ballots, but it just so happened that the third place person in relative terms did a lot better than the first and second place person.
Disproportionately better.
Such that the Republican was actually kicked out of the race so that there's not actually a real election in California.
That's the way it always happens. That's the way it always happens, ladies and gentlemen. The Republicans get screwed in the drive-through, man. Well, tonight, it looks like President Trump is going to speak about election interference. 9 Eastern tonight, 8 Central. We'll be live streaming this. Will allege, and I think he's got evidence, that Beijing hacked voter databases around 2020 to aid President Joe Biden. Now, this is all allegedly, all alleged. Health and safety, YouTube health and safety people, all alleged. Now, there's another big story brewing, and I don't know if these are connected, but it sounds like they might be. Trump administration fired a Seattle U.S. attorney less than an hour after federal judges appointed him to the job. Roger Rogoff, 57-year-old former King County Superior Court judge, sworn in at 8 a.m. at the federal courthouse. He then went to meet with the Trump administration's preferred official, and while waiting in the lobby, received an email notifying him, "You're fired." I don't know if this has anything to do with the things going on tonight, but it very well could have. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announced the firing on X while testifying before Senate in his own confirmation. He says district court judges can appoint a temporary use attorney and POTUS can fire them. Now, this is going to challenge the power of the president. We know the Supreme Court just ruled on this. The president can fire these people at will. He is the person. He is allowed to fire them. Tonight at 9 Eastern, it's gonna be tonight at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on my channel, The Ben Dykes Show. We will be live streaming this because I want to hear what the president has to say. More importantly, I want to see the evidence.
We're going to begin with a few scheduling announcements. Tonight, as you all know, at 9:00 p.m. Eastern, President Trump will deliver a major address to the nation on protecting the integrity of our elections, and we encourage every American to tune in.
If you don't tune into this, you don't care about free and fair elections. That's just my opinion. I also say if you don't vote, don't complain. Just stop running your mouth. Don't Don't complain. This is going to be fireworks. I don't know if all of the different channels will carry this. I doubt some of the liberal channels will carry this. I doubt some of them will want to cover this. But the fireworks are going off, man. It is 4th of July. The Hill, Trump fires new Seattle prosecutor less than an hour after appointment. Trump's latest news, who's Roger Rogoff? He is a liberal prosecutor in Seattle. We know what kind of crime Seattle has. We know what kind of problems they have there. And I believe these things are connected. Thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe. Tune in tonight, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. We will be going live. We'll probably go live about 7:30 to cover this. This could change America. We are witnessing some real things that could change America. I'll see you in the next one.